You believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
Evolved.
It has evolved.
Since
Why
Trump
did you
won.
tweet that?
Right.
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that
Trump would
America
lose.
believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You
Don't know where
tweeted
statement
that in
comes from.
reference to a
You
book you were
tweeted
reading
that.
at the time, apparently, The Case for
that is
Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it.
We've got this one from Fox News. The GOP moves to defund the chronically biased NPR and PBS after disastrous hearing. They're always so clever with their bills. Titled the No Partisan Radio and Partisan Broadcasting Services Act, or simply the NPR and PBS Act. Would fully cut off any direct or indirect government funding for both outlets, forcing them to compete instead of being propped up by the government. Did you guys see those the hearing that went down? I think it was today, where they had the CEO, maybe it was yesterday, the CEO of NPR. Man, I got to pull this one up. Let me grab this one. Basically, she's asked if NPR is biased.
Yes, I heard.
And then she's like, no, it is not. And he's like, then why did you tweet Trump is a fascist, racist, white supremacist? Yeah.
Listen, I was tweeting that in a personal capacity. That wasn't a professional capacity. In my professional life, I'm completely neutral on Trump.
I think there are 87 people on the board there, or I don't remember if it was the board or whatever. There were 87 officials that were involved in NPR. 87 of them are Democrats. And when questioned about it, she was like, "Well, we don't ask people their political leanings, but I do find this to be a problem, and that's concerning." It's like that is absolute BS. Absolute BS.
Yeah, they know.
Here, take a look at this clip.
And did you say there's no bias on NPR?
That is not a
That is not a
NPR.
biased statement, ma'am. That is not even both parties wrap themselves around this song every time there's a national conflict. Lee Greenwood sings it, and he does a beautiful job. But you say there is no bias in NPR.
That is that individual's opinion, and she, of course, is entitled to it. But that is not the position of NPR.
Ma'am, you said in your opening statement that you were going to be transformative. And I believe you failed to do that. Let me ask you, why did you call President Trump a fascist and a deranged racist sociopath in 2020?
Congressman, I appreciate the opportunity to address this. I regret those tweets. I would not tweet them again today. They represented a time where I was reflecting on...
Yo, there's way more. It's endless. Yeah. We've got this tweet from Brandon Gill. Let's watch this one.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved.
Since
Why
Trump
did you tweet that?
Right.
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that
Trump would
America
lose.
believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You
Don't know where
tweeted
statement
that in
comes from.
reference to a
You
book you were
tweeted
reading
that.
at the time, apparently, The Case for
that is
Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it. You said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You
This
put
is
that
amazing.
on Twitter in January of 2020.
Apologies, I don't recall that I did.
Okay.
Dude, it's just
no doubt
it's
that
literally
good.
3 minutes of this.
your tweet there is
so
correct,
good.
but I don't recall that.
Okay.
Can
Do
we
you
pause
believe
that a
that
second?
white
'Cause this is
people
just
inherently
so
feel
good.
superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't. You tweeted something to that effect. You said, I grew up feeling superior. Ha, how white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
It sounds like you're saying that white people feel superior.
I don't believe that anybody feels that way, sir. I was just reflecting on my own experience.
so
Do you think that white people should pay reparations?
I have never said that, sir.
Yes, you did. You said it in January of 2020. You tweeted, yes, the North, yes,
Yes,
all
you
of us,
did.
yes, America, yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt, yes, reparations, yes, on this day.
I don't believe that was a reference to fiscal reparations, sir.
What kind of reparations was it a reference to?
This is
I think it was just a
brutal.
reference to the idea that we all owe much to the people who came before us.
That's a bizarre way to frame what you tweeted. Okay, how much reparations have you personally paid?
Sir, I don't believe that I've ever paid reparations.
Okay, it's just for everybody else.
I'm not asking anyone
Seems
to
to
pay
be what you're
reparations, sir.
suggesting. Do you believe that looting is morally wrong?
I believe that looting is illegal, and I refer to it as counterproductive. I think it should be prosecuted.
Do you believe it's morally wrong, though?
Of course.
Of course. Then why did you refer to it as counterproductive? It's a very different way to describe it.
It is both morally wrong and counterproductive, as well as being
You
illegal.
tweeted, it's hard to be mad about protests in reference to the BLM protests, not prioritizing the private property of a system of oppression.
Jesus.
You didn't condemn the looting. You said that it was counterproductive. NPR also
stop,
promoted
she's
a
already
book
dead.
called In Defense of Looting.
Jesus,
You said that
man.
that's
Yeah, it's just 3 minutes of that straight.
I love his smirk, though. I
embarrassing.
love
Yeah.
his smirk. He's so got.
The best is when she's like, "I never said." He goes,
Yeah, you did.
"Yeah, you
Yes, you
did. You tweeted it right here." That's NPR. That's the
I feel like she
CEO
should
of
have known
NPR.
by then to stop saying I never said that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know? He has all these papers and she can't remember shit.
I'm sure there's nothing else on that. I'm sure it's just that one, you know.
So she gets asked by Rep. Burchett if they've ever conducted a review to see if they have bias in the company. And she goes, our audience is 33% conservative, which is not answering the question. Because
But that also
conservatives...
indicts her. Why isn't your audience 50% conservative? If you're
Well-
an unbiased thing, why wouldn't it be roughly equal?
Well, her argument is that because it's 30% Republican, 30% Independent, 30% Democrat.
Oh, right.
Democrat, right? And but here's the thing. Republicans, she believes because Republicans watch or listen to NPR, that means they're not biased. Republicans complain all day and night about how biased NPR is, and they still watch because conservatives are trying to get a full perspective on what's going on. That's why conservatives know what liberals are thinking, and liberals think conservatives are insane and evil.
Well, the liberals, and you pointed to it there. The liberals actually think that conservatives are evil, right? They think that it is a moral question, that every political question is actually a moral question. And if you come down in a place that is not where the consensus is, it is because of a character flaw or some kind of defect with the person, totally ignoring the fact that their morals are based on Christian principles.
Yeah. No. If it was a character flaw or something intrinsically defective about the person, the liberal would let it go, right? Because that's what every thief, every mugging, every violent encounter, they will say, "Oh no, he was from a bad home. Look at his environment. That can be no. They think you choose to be evil. They think you've weighed up the pros and cons of both sides. You go, no, I'm team evil. I'm actually, and that's what they think. If they thought there was something wrong with you that prevented you from arriving at the morally correct liberal perspective, they'd let it go. They'd be like, yeah, no, he's fine. Just from a bad home, whatever. No. They think you know what you're doing, and they think that you're evil, and that's
It's
why
the
they
actual
they think
awareness and choice.
Yes.
Okay.
They that's why it was what Solzhenitsyn, the story of the army officer who stabbed the other guy. They prosecuted. So the story was there's an army officer. He gets attacked. The guy pulls a knife on him, tries to kill him. He defends himself, grabs the knife, stabs the other guy. He gets arrested.
Yeah.
And they said, well, the criminal didn't know better. You did. You could have fled.
Yeah.
Why didn't you run? And he was like, the guy was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
That's how it was in the Soviet Union.
And that's how it is anywhere the left is in charge.
Yeah.
Because the left's fundamental position, remember, is that society is inevitable and it makes people bad. And if therefore society itself is there's something wrong with it, right? And if you're paying your taxes, if you're following the law, you're obeying the rules, and you're doing okay out of it, well, then you're just complicit with the evil society. Right? The people who aren't following the laws are the ones who have been made bad by society. So the evil society has turned them into this, and therefore that person is a victim of the evil society that you prop up with your tax, with your obedience.
Because
So
you know better. That's why you got to break rocks.
And remember, you're choosing to be evil in this evil society. That's why they hate you so much.
You know what I love? Just how mathematically stupid the communism is. I mean, obviously, in a variety of ways, it's very stupid. But, from each according to their ability to each according to their need.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's theft.
well, but it's also mathematically just stupid. Let's do the math on this. You got 10 people in a room, and you're like, 8 of them produce nothing, but they need, 100% of the resources per person. Okay, well, you just die. Everything just literally falls apart.
Even if they only
And
needed
ethos doesn't work.
Even if each one only needed a tenth of the resources, how is it just to make 2 people provide resources for another 8 people?
Oh, I don't care about that. I mean, I understand that point. I'm just saying, if we're doing simple math, and it's like, okay, we got 100 people in a room, or on a farm. 50 of them can grow just enough food for themselves. The other 50 can only grow half. It's like, okay, well, people are going to die. 25 people probably are going to starve to death. That's communism. It's literally what happens every time because the math will just tell you that. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. But they try. Bless their hearts. They keep trying while they stand in a pile of dead bodies.
But the thing is it's not about anything to do with what you're talking about, which is reality or practical concerns, right? Yeah, but no, but you laugh. But it's entirely a sort of utopian moral dream that they're following, and it's every single time. It's always the same dream. And there's a reason that the liberals and the communists basically look the same at this point in time. Like, what's the actual difference between Nancy Pelosi and some AOC?
AOC hasn't had enough time to insider trade to $200 million.
Morally, I meant, not financially. But morally, they want the same things. They all want the same things. And because it all kind of harmonizes into the same philosophy.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.